I was devastated, totally. And I still am. I think of nothing else, day and night.
He was in his late 80s. He'd spent his entire adult life doing what Canadians are told to do: work steadily, save carefully, plan for later. And then one phone call, one voice that sounded exactly like his bank, took everything he had built over a lifetime, not in a day, not in a week, over months. While he believed he was helping stop a crime, he described the moment the caller first spoke to him.
We want to make sure that you don't lose your life savings. So I went along with it.
He went along with it because the voice told him exactly what he needed to hear. Stay with me. Because what happened to this man in Victoria, British Columbia, is one of the most patient and devastating operations we have ever traced on this channel. Okay, so picture this. Raymond Anholt lived quietly in Victoria, British Columbia in late 80s. Steady routines, familiar habits. He checked his statements, kept his records, trusted the institutions he had used for decades. The money in his accounts was not inherited. It was not lucky. It was built the slow way, through years of working and saving and choosing discipline over comfort again and again, until there was something real to show for it. That money had a purpose. It was meant to support his remaining years and leave something behind for the family he loved. He had earned every dollar of it. And then in June 2024, his phone rang. The caller ID showed CIBC, a name Raymond recognized immediately, a bank he trusted. The voice on the other end was calm, procedural, professional. There were concerns about activity linked to money laundering. The bank needed his help to protect his accounts, and the words were familiar: fraud protection, verification, security review. The kind of language banks use every day. And then the caller said something that locked everything in place. Raymond recalled exactly what he was told.
We want to make sure that you don't lose your life savings. So I went along with it.
Yeah, he went along with it. Because those words, "We want to make sure you don't lose your life savings," are the exact words you want to hear from your bank. They sound like protection. They sound like care. They were the trap. The instructions did not come as demands. They came as steps in an investigation. Small actions first, logical ones. The kind of things banks ask people to do all the time. Weeks passed. Raymond began withdrawing money from CIBC branches. When staff noticed activity that did not match his previous behavior. One manager froze his online and ATM access. A letter was sent describing his account activity as unusual and warning that third-party requested transactions often lacked legitimate purpose. But the letter did not explicitly say, "You're being manipulated right now. Stop." And so the in-person withdrawals continued. The operation grew more sophisticated. The caller explained that concerns within CIBC meant his funds would be safer at another bank. Raymond transferred his money to RBC. And here is where this case becomes unlike almost anything we have covered on this channel. At RBC, Raymond began obtaining large bank drafts, sometimes $50,000, sometimes nearly $400,000 at a time. Following instructions to purchase gold bars, he visited the branches, requested the drafts, signed the paperwork, returned home, and waited. Then the couriers arrived at his apartment door to collect the gold. Each step was explained as part of securing assets for a larger investigation. Each transfer was framed as protection, not loss. The script never once asked for money directly. Every action was presented as recovery, cooperation, proof that he was helping stop a crime. And through all of it, the family did not know. The caller had encouraged secrecy. The investigation required discretion. That instruction made perfect sense to a man who had spent decades respecting institutional processes. Someone who reviewed the case described what the accounts showed.
They never once asked that. He drained his account, money coming in from his investments, going out as gold bar.
Month after month, and the life savings built over a lifetime drained steadily. And Raymond believed, until the very end, that he was protecting them. Then one day, the caller asked for more. A senior official needed additional funds to release everything back to Raymond. And for the first time, Raymond did something he had not done through any of it. He called his daughter and asked for a loan. She asked why. He explained. The money was gone. Raymond described what that realization left behind.
I was devastated, totally. And I still am. I think of nothing else, day and night.
Day and night. The man who had spent 8 decades building something, carefully, steadily, the right way, now thinks of nothing else day and night. That is what this operation left behind. Not just the financial loss, but the permanent weight of a realization that arrived too late to change anything. Here is what Raymond's case means for every Canadian and every family watching this right now. First, no bank will ever call you and ask you to withdraw large amounts of cash or purchase gold bars as part of a fraud investigation. That instruction does not exist in any legitimate banking process anywhere in Canada. The moment someone says those words, the call is over. Second, secrecy is always the weapon. Every operation like this one depends on isolating the victim from family. The moment any caller tells you to keep something confidential from your children, your spouse, or anyone you trust, that is the signal. Tell someone immediately. Third, if you have an elderly parent or grandparent, have the conversation now. Not after something happens. Now. Tell them about gold bar couriers. Tell them about bank impersonation calls. Tell them that their real bank will never ask them to move money to protect it. That one conversation could save everything they have built. And fourth, if you notice unusual banking behavior in someone you love, push harder than feels comfortable. The warning signs were there for Raymond. A letter was sent. Access was frozen. But no one sat down with him and said, "Stop. Someone is manipulating you right now." Be the person who says that. Both CI, BC, and RBC responded through written statements. Both cited strong fraud prevention policies. RBC later met with Raymond's daughter and said the matter had been resolved, though the details of that meeting remain private. What Canada has not adopted the kind of banking protections that exist in countries like the United Kingdom and Australia, where institutions can be held liable in certain fraud cases. Which means that, for Raymond and thousands of Canadians like him, the outcome depends almost entirely on what the individual bank decides to do. The money intended for his remaining years arrived at those years without it. And somewhere in Victoria, British Columbia, a man in his late 80s thinks of nothing else, day and night. If you have an elderly parent or grandparent, please share this video with them tonight. Not tomorrow, tonight. The operation that targeted Raymond is running right now, and it is looking for the next person who trusts their bank enough to go along with it. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Have you or someone you love received a call like this? Tell us. Your experience could be the warning that reaches the next family in time. And if you are not subscribed to Crime Trace yet, Here is the honest reason to do it now. Every week, we trace another case exactly like Raymond's. How it started, how it escalated, and exactly what you need to know to protect the people you love. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications. I will see you in the next one.